welcome to Grief on a Tuesday night. This is number 5. This might be a bit of a shorter one today. I'm not sure, but this is about ashes. So basically, we went to the funeral directors, or I did, and collected the ashes. And this is something obviously a lot of people will know about and resonate with. And we initially what basically just wanted to go and sort of perform a nice sort of scattering of the ashes up one of the hills where we used to walk, somewhere that's open, somewhere that was, a real nice sort of clean place, open place. And that was the idea. But we were stopped from doing so by the woman I call the mother-in-law, and the best way I can describe her, someone like Cruella de Vil, that type of character, just a horrible person, always looking for trouble. She's spiky. She wants confrontation. Any little thing you say that can be taken the wrong way will be, and then who knows where that ends up. But yeah, we were stopped from doing so. Because of the time, because it wouldn't be the perfect weather conditions, or we couldn't have everybody there. Now, really, the only people who were going to be there were myself, my son, those two, and possibly the brother as well. The brother lives a couple of miles away down south, but it's not difficult to get here. And she clearly wanted everything to just be perfect before it happened, so it was delayed and delayed. To the point where we ended up taking them over to her, and it just hasn't happened. She keeps going on about the weather. She keeps going on about, it just should have happened by now. I find it pretty disrespectful and pretty offensive that it hasn't. We don't know at the end of the day where they're being kept there, if they're in a garage, if they're in a shed. I've no idea. At the moment, as I sit here now, it's due to happen this Thursday because it coincided with a birthday. It's due to happen this Thursday. I'm hopeful that's also going to work because with the schools off on the before and after the Easter weekend, that makes it a lot easier for the brother to get here. I don't know whether it's just going to be him or his immediate family as well. I'm not sure. My concern is, we've been lucky with the weather. I really think over the winter period, although we've had some obviously cold days, there hasn't been a lot of rain with us. We've not had anything really torrential. We've had weeks and weeks and weeks with very little rain at all. So we've had plenty of days when this could have been done. And my real concern is that if it doesn't get done this Thursday, I just don't know when it will happen. And I fear it will just go on. And I also fear that we may end up not even being involved. She's taken over to that point. And I would just advise, I was going to say it's not the right word. I would just advise people, if you're the one that's collecting ashes from a funeral director, then do what you want to do. I know you've got to be respectful to other members of the family, and I understand that, but be assertive and just lay down that this is when it's going to happen, and we're going to do it this way. And then I'm sure the other immediate members of the family will join in, and if they don't, then they don't. But if you do what I've done, which is sort of basically hand over control, you're left in a situation where sort of 5 months down the line from collecting them from the funeral directors, that nothing has been done, and we're still sat here. Now that's on me. I shouldn't have done it. I think if you knew the sort of person I was dealing with, she made it incredibly difficult. And it's not like you're dealing with what I'd call a normal human being, because then things would have been much, much easier. But because I have handed over control now. We've just been sat here. She said some horrible things to my son during this delay, which makes me all the more keener to get this done and draw a line. It sounds a horrible thing to say, but we need closure and we need to draw a line doing this, because then really, as far as she's concerned, we don't need any more contact there. We don't need to see her again. That will be it as far as we're concerned. My son's the same as me. He's not keen on her at all, to put it kindly. So yeah, I think if you're in that situation where where you're the one collecting ashes, then just be assertive. You can be respectful, but be assertive, and don't end up in the situation that I've ended up in, whereby we're sat here 5 months on, maybe just over that from when I collected them and I picked them up, and there's still no scattering of ashes been performed. They're still sat there. I just think it's really disrespectful. I think it's offensive, and it's something that, amongst other things, I need to move on from. There's a lot going on at the moment. Stuff that's really making me fucking worry massively. And this is a part of it, but it's stuff that I need to get done and move on from, and this woman stopped it from happening. So as I say, fingers crossed it just happens on Thursday and we can move on, because if it doesn't, then I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, all I can say is, don't do what I've done. Just do the opposite to me. I'm sure all families in the main probably deal with this a lot better than we have. And I know families are going to be different. There might be differences of opinion, and obviously, yeah, not all families are the same. I get that, but you would like to think it's everyone's best interest to have a nice occasion somewhere nice, and to get it done. But I haven't done that, so that's another black mark against me, I suppose. So yeah, I'm going to move on from that and just keep my fucking fingers crossed that this happens on Thursday, and who knows, maybe I'll be able to do another one, hopefully, to say that it's been done, and we can at least move on from this. And I saw today, I was sorting through some photos and doing a sort of like a little sort of 5-minute musical photo album, and I said at the time, there was a picture of like my son, like holding her hand, and I just said, I noticed it was something that a lot of people seem to do in situations like this, so we should. And I came across those, and it's things like that sort of hit you really hard, again, just on a day when you think you're going along okay, and it's just an okay day, but really it's not, and you see that. And yeah, so I just hope we can move on for this, for everybody's sake, and certainly for mine. So yeah, musically, I'm going to move on from that because it's pretty sad. So I've got loads of things at the moment listening to wise music. So I was saying to someone the other night, the question was put a little while back: if you had to lose music or football, which would it be? And I've been involved in football probably since, like, playing and watching and coaching, since I was like 9 at junior school, and we used to have a fantastic junior school team. and then going to football and watching it from a young age as well, and obviously meeting a lot of people through that, and then that's carried on till the present day. And then I had 10 years of coaching at a couple of clubs, around sort of 4 or 5 years or so, a bit more with each. Doing a coaching badge. I would have done a second coaching badge if it hadn't been for an absolute cunt of a line manager I worked with at the time. And I basically needed 6 separate days, which covered the time I needed for this course, and he wouldn't let me have one of them. And he knew how important it was to me. And it was because of the Cheltenham races, and a lot of people were, a few people were going, and he wouldn't let me have it. And I remember that day because obviously I had to cancel. I couldn't do with missing that one day. I had to miss the course, and we had like a big TV in the sales room, and people were just sat there watching fucking horse racing, and didn't need me there at all. But I missed out on something that would have been really, really important. But I digress. Football or music. So bearing in mind how seriously important football's been to me, and how much it does mean, it would be music. I couldn't do without it. I'd have to give up football because, I listen to it every single day without fail. Some days a lot more often than others. I'd be absolutely lost without it, and the amount of gigs I've seen and stacks and stacks of albums I've bought. I'd be lost. So anyway, a few things at the moment. So I'm listening to a new album from In the Woods called Otra, which is really good. Machine Head's new one's out in 3 days. They've released a few songs now from that, but that's out on Friday, so we'll definitely be getting that. And Rivers of Nihil as well. They've released, I think it's a 3rd song before they release their album next month as well. So there's loads of good stuff around at the moment, but those 3 are ones I'm listening to. And sport wise, Villa are actually playing tonight at Man City. They had a pretty colossal week last week, beat Paris Saint-Germain at home, but it just wasn't quite enough to get them through over the tie. They lost 5-4 despite winning the home game. It was a real case of what ifs in the end. Created probably 4 or 5 really good chances to get level and get it into extra time. It was a monumental night, but it just wasn't quite enough. Then really handed Newcastle their ass on Saturday. Terrific win. Really good team performance. Probably the best of the season at home. They're playing tonight away at Man City, so obviously incredibly difficult. And then Saturday just keeps on coming. We're going to Wembley for the FA Cup semi-final against Crystal Palace. I mean, that's the holy grail for a lot of us. Pretty much none of us have seen us win the FA Cup, and that's the one I think a lot of us really, really want more than anything else. So, we'll be there for that, despite my loathing of Wembley and London in general. But we'll be there for that. So there we go. That's the end of number 5. So, be more assertive and don't be like me. All the best. Bye.
So this is how it feels to be lonely. This is how it